I just finished this rig up today. In this video, we're going to talk about how to install these reels here and how we did it, what bolts we needed, and everything along the lines of installing the reels to make sure that they don't fall off, so that way we put them in the right space and all of that awesome stuff. Also, at the end of this video, there will be the whole playlist of me building this rig from start to finish, installing the tanks, how to put a Job valve in, everything along the lines of how to install this awesome unit. So you can see we did put an 8 gallon a minute on it. It's got a 50 gallon water tank, 50 gallon soap tank. It does have the downstream bypass. No, it does not have a soft wash system on this one. It could be added real easy. We have another shelf over here that we could put a soft wash system on the other side, no problems. But this one did not come with a soft wash system. But this is a pretty cool rig right here. Everything you need to do everything from house washing, concrete cleaning, to everything. You could do everything with this rig except roof cleaning. That's the only thing you could not clean with this rig right here. So keep watching and see how to put this hose reels on here. The next thing we got is our hose reels. Mounting our hose reels on our shelves. I know that some people will be like, Jason, that's just stupid, but I want to show you steps to mount these, and then obviously we will do it. So one thing we like to do is we have a paint marker. And so we want to get it where we want to go, and we're going to mark all 4 holes. And he already marked these. He even marked our thing here because he wasn't smart enough to keep it there. But when we do this, we want to know if, hey, if we want to push this in, push it out. So make sure that we have our hose rail sit before we start marking. So those are some things. Some other things that we need to make sure of is, hey, is our hand going to get able to roll the whole thing? You know, am I going to hit something? Do I want to be back here further? Make sure that I can turn my bypass on, you know. So we actually kept this one a little bit closer. Is there other things that I'm going to hit? You know, this water tank, does it need to be moved over? Which this is all going to get shoved over this way. So these are all factors that we have to make sure of when we're marking our holes and making sure. So the next thing is we need a good drill bit that will drill through aluminum. Yes, it needs to be able to drill through aluminum and not just a wood bit. So we do need that. I've used a unibit or stuff like that, all of that kind of thing. Did we get all 4 holes or all 8 holes marked?
I only did 4.
You only did 4? You didn't mark these 2?
No.
Oh, you haven't marked those. Okay, so we are going to just work on this reel here. This is for the high pressure reel. This is the high pressure reel right here. This is where all the high pressure hose is going to go. So that is the reel we're going to work on. Some things, you know, make sure when we're drilling, check underneath. Make sure that underneath of here that there's no braces, stuff like that, that we drill down through. So we need to make sure of that, which I knew that there. You know, here we got some gussets going down through there, so we want to make sure that when we're drilling underneath of our plate that there is nothing. When we're drilling down through it, we want to make sure our leg or our foot's not in it, because I've seen people drill through and it goes through and goes right into their leg. That can be very painful. That will take you to the hospital. So those are some other things of safety things. So you can see he has the holes right here where they all need to be drilled. So all we got to do is get our nice little drill out here, and we're going to make sure that that's going to fit. Is that going to be big enough for our bolt? Or you can do a pilot hole. So there's one. Another thing you can do to make sure that it's in the right spot is there's a thing that you take a hammer and like a chisel punch, and that way you punch that hole, and that way it makes it in the center of the hole. We have some darkened. So now we got the shaving. So if you got a good blow job, it's good to do that. I wouldn't use your hands like DJ thought about, because then I know he's using a bag, but his originally thought is to take his hand to do it. And that's a good way to get a nice splinter in your hand. And so that's why, you know, use a towel, use a rag, use something to wipe off all the shavings. If you're a good blow jobber, you can, you know, blow all that stuff off too. Or if you have an air compressor, you can take an air compressor and blow all that stuff. The biggest thing is we want to make sure that these little shavings like that don't get into our tank or into our water system. This can be issues. Obviously, we have a water filter down there to keep some of this, but you know, this here can be problems if we allow that to go into that system there of that. The next thing, once we get all that off, he's gonna do a next size hole bigger, so that way the bolt hole will go down in there and get a nice, where it'll go right to where we need to be at.
Isn't it?
So he can't read, so he's looking for the numbers. This is ½ inch. This is 1330 seconds. This should be 3/8 right there. And then again, you can look at it and it says 3/8 on it.
Well, when you get my age, you can't see.
When you get DJ's age, you can't see. Other things don't work either. But that's part of it.
It works.
Before we go on any further, if you would like to learn more about pressure washing and stuff like that, I have a step-by-step course of how to do a pressure washing business. You can go check it out at pressurewashhelp.com or King of Pressure Washing, and there I have all the steps. In fact, one of the steps is building your own rig, and I teach you step-by-step of how to build a rig, reasons why we need to build a rig, and not only that, it is also the 26 steps to the perfect house wash. I give you all 26 steps to make sure that you do a perfect house wash every time and you do every step, so that way you hit everything you need to do, like marketing, like taking before and afters to cover your tail, and all of that is detailed in there, so make sure you go check that out. So you can also make sure, when I like to do is look at my bolt, make sure that that's going to be big enough. So we can make sure that it's big enough to do it. All right, go ahead. So he actually drilled the hole first to make some pilot holes, and then now we'll drill the bigger hole. You might have to turn it on drill. There is a thing on our section here that if you don't have it on drill, you need to turn it to drill. I was putting in a hot water heater. What was I doing? Oh no, I was putting on the boat over at water. I had to take the roof out of the boat, and I wanted to make sure I didn't strip out the screws, so I put that on there. So again, we can check to make sure they fit nice and snug, nice snug as a bug as a rug. Put our reel on there. We want to make sure that we have flat washers. We got our flat washers right here. We'll put a flat washer on top and on bottom, and then we'll put a lock washer on the bottom, or whether we come up or down doesn't really matter. We can do either which way. He's got to find the hole, get it in the hole. Sometimes that can be difficult too. So this is how we do this. You get another bolt. We got to put 4 bolts in there. If you can only put 2, it's not really good, because that reel will want to do this. It is best to put 4 bolts in it. We're using 4 3/8 stainless, so that way they don't rust. You know, I like to put the stainless on it, so that way it doesn't rust and look crappy and break and all of that kind of thing at the end of the day. So we do like to use stainless. It does cost more, it does drive cost up, but it makes it look better, keeps it from rusting, keeps it all nice and good and go. So we put all 4 bolts in it. You can see up underneath here all the bolts right there, 1 2 3. He's putting the 4th one in, and we'll go from there. The next thing I'm gonna put on is some hose reels. We like us some hose reels. We have some Hane hose reels. We have the Hane 18-inch hose reel that's gonna go on here. We gotta make sure that when we mount this that we don't have enough room here. I'm also wanting to see when I mount this hose reel of, you know, I don't want it to stick out any farther than I want to, but then also I don't want it to be hitting my tank. If my tank is here, you know, that's not going to work either. So I'm going to have to put something here. Even if I put something right here to keep this tank from going across there, I can put me a piece of angle or something there to keep it from going that way, or I can slide my tank that way. But again, I'd rather push them back. I like them pushed back a little bit, but on this here, you got to remember that this bolt that goes down through here, it does have a lip right here. so you want to make sure that we can get that bolt and nut on there. But again, it does have the big lock on it, so that way we can lock these, so that way when we're doing it. This one here is probably going to be my water hose, because it's going to go right into my water tank, and then my pressure hose will be back here on the back side of my truck, because it's going to be pressurized on the back side of the pressure washer. Or I might make this, and this will be where my, again, this is where pre-planning of looking at stuff of where do I want my bypass injector. I may put it here, because if I go here, you know, the tailgate comes up, it's going to be trying to get in around this. If it goes here, I may put it here, so that way I can reach that from either side. I can reach it from the back side or the front side. Again, we'll get the 4 bolts. Now we're going to tighten them. You can use a wrench, you can use a, sometimes you can make things harder than what it is worth. And the driver actually works better because it's actually an impact to make it work tight. And that's loud. You also don't want to tighten them too tight, because you will break the bolt. And you can actually use the other holes too, but he went through the middle holes, which will be fine.
It's easier to get.
That's why you didn't have no extra.
But this puts tension on this, puts rigid tension on that, you know, and we help kind of pull it and make sure it locks that lock washer in there.
Yeah, sure.
It does.
All right, so that's mounting a reel. I know that's probably not too hard to do for a lot of people, but I always like to show how to do it with all the steps, so that way you understand how to do it and that. So the next thing will be doing putting the hose on. So if you want to check that video out, go check this video out right over here, and there I will show you us putting the hose on the high pressure side. And also go check out this playlist here, because this will be all the videos on this skid right here of everything from this skid. That's called a big old knot right there. And the way you keep that from happening is unrolling it the sucky way of your hands or something, because that's what you call a big old cluster truck. We don't like cluster trucks. I'm up here waiting to reel it up, and he's down there playing with his hose. I don't know what. Holding up. He's down there playing with his hose, trying to get his hose to work okay, and all he's doing is keep putting his hose in a bigger knot down there. He likes playing with his hose. We don't want to know about your personal life. We don't want to know about his personal life, do we, guys?